What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Liliac. Yes, indeed. Liliac fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bibbidi bop, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Paul McGilligot. And Paul wanted to see me react to this. It is Liliac putting their spin on a great tune, a wonderful tune, a tune that I think that made like the top 500 rock and roll songs of all time on Billboard. A little tune called Piece of My Heart. Now, have I heard the song before? Full disclosure, yes. Yes, I have. I have heard this song many, many times. I have heard, I'm sure everybody's heard the Janis Joplin version, right? Okay, well, let's first of all, let's clear up that misconception. This is not a Janis Joplin song. Believe it or not, what brought this song into mainstream, into the spotlight, was actually Big Brother and the Holding Company, okay? Which Janis Joplin was the lead singer of. Yes, granted, Janis Joplin did sing it, but let's be clear, the credit goes to the band that she was a part of, Big Brother and the Holding Company, okay? I love everybody goes, that's a Janis Joplin tune. It actually isn't, believe it or not. The song was originally written, I forgot who the original writers were, but it was recorded by Erma Franklin in it was like a year before Big Brother got a hold of it. Big Brother and the Holding Company got a hold of it, and no, that wouldn't have worked. It had to have been 68, which means Erma Franklin recorded it in 67. It was a year before. I know that. So it's either Erma Franklin recorded it in 67 and then Big Brother and the Holding Company got a hold of it in 68, or Erma Franklin recorded it in 68 and then Big Brother and the Holding Company got a hold of it in 69. I'm not sure which one it is. But believe it or not, Big Brother and the Holding Company didn't actually write the song, and they weren't the original recorders either. But they're the ones who brought it into the spotlight. They're the ones who made it blow up, and as a result, it ended up as seriously one of the top 500 rock tunes of all time. And it was also listed on another list. I think the top 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. I think. It wasn't like it wasn't in the top 20. It was like 300 something. But in any case, it's a great tune. It's a wonderful tune. I've actually had the opportunity to play the tune a couple times with a couple different bands. So yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the song. I am. Now, having said that, I've never heard this cover. I've never heard Liliac do the song. So, full disclosure, full transparency here. Have I heard the song? Yes, I have. Have I heard Liliac do it? No, I haven't. So, my entire reaction, review, analysis, and scoring will be based completely on what Liliac does with the song. Are they going to do an absolute 100% carbon copy cover, or are they going to put their own little feel on it, their own little spin on it? I have a feeling they're going to do the latter. Maybe not to a huge extent, but there's going to be a little variation, I'm sure. If nothing else, I'm sure the sound, the tone of like the instruments is going to be quite a bit different. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Liliac, Piece of My Heart, live in Cumming, Georgia, 2019. They're playing this live. Thank you. Listen, nothing against their music videos. I got no problem with music videos at all, but watching it live, I think it's going to be a much different experience. I mean, we're really going to see what they can do, which I'm really looking forward to. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Shall we bring some Janice in this place, All
Yeah.
right. Like you were the only me. Yeah, didn't I give you nearly everything that woman possibly can? How do you know I did? And each time I tell myself, well, I think I've had enough. Well, I'm gonna show you, baby, that a woman can be tough. Come on, come on, come on. Come on and take another little piece of my heart now, baby. Take another little bit of my heart, now, darling. Have another little piece of my heart now, baby. You know you got it if it makes you feel good. Oh, yes, indeed.
From an interpretational standpoint, it's exactly what I was expecting. Exactly. They took the song, they're playing it in the same key as Big Brother and the Holding Company. They are pretty much the exact same tempo, the exact same patterns, the exact same feel. They've given it a heavier sound, a more modern sound, an edgier sound, a heavier sound. So yeah, they've definitely made it their own. They're not emulating the exact same guitar tones. They're not emulating the exact same keyboard tones. They're putting their own little spin on it. Is it a huge difference? No, not at all. But it's enough of a difference, I personally feel. I think it's a big enough difference that it makes it their own. Having said that, as far as notations goes, as far as chordal progression goes, they're nailing it. I mean, I don't hear any differences. And listen, I'm going to do something a little strange. Because, you know, everybody always compliments Melody. And don't get me wrong, her vocals are great. Her vocals are great. She's putting her own spin on it. She's not trying to be Janice. She's being Melody singing like Janice. Or like, more importantly, more like Erma. I get that, okay? And I appreciate that and I applaud that. Nothing against, I believe the guitar player's name is Sam. I'm trying here, folks. I'm trying. I really am. I believe his name is Sam. Nothing against his guitar playing. It sounds great. No issues whatsoever. Nothing against the drummer. Nothing against the keyboard. That bass player is impressing me right now. He is really impressing me. He is nailing the bass parts. He is moving around. He is active. He's doing some fantastic bass playing. So bass player to bass player, dude, you're knocking it out of the park. Good job, man. Good job. I'm digging what he's doing. Let's keep going, shall we?
You're out on the street, looking good, and very deep down in your heart, I guess you know they're right. Never, 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 never hear me when I cry at night. Baby, I cry all the time, and each time I tell myself, well, I can't stand the pain. When you hug me in your arms, I'll sing it once again. I said, come
solo was impressive. The guitar solo was nice. I liked it. I liked everything he did. Even those extreme liberties he was taking with, like, you know, the sweep picking, the hammer-on and pull-offs. You didn't hear that in the original, but it fit. It absolutely fit. He did a great job. I'm sorry, though, man. The bass playing on this is just absolutely stealing the spotlight for me. The kid is moving those fingers, man. He really is. And the thing is, he's not overplaying. Like, he's doing exactly, if I'm not mistaken, he's doing exactly what the bass player did from Big Brother and Holding Company. A lot of 1s, 5s, and 8s, granted, but there's also a lot of scales being used, especially descending lines. You know, just, you know, minor scales or blues scales sometimes. Sometimes he'll skip well, I mean, he skipped the 6. So he'll go, like, you know, 8 to the flat 7, the 5, flat 5, 4, minor 3, 1. You know, he'll do stuff like, it's a blues scale. You know, just stuff like that. I mean, he's moving around, though, very actively, but never in a way to steal the spotlight. Like, he's playing actively, but because I think it's because he's keeping his volume down a little bit. I mean, I don't think he's playing a little softer. He's not, like, aggressively attacking the strings. He's playing a lot more, I guess, I would say mezzo piano, probably, as far as a dynamic standpoint goes. So he doesn't become overbearing. He doesn't, you know, steal the spotlight. Although in my eyes, me personally, how I personally feel, yeah, he is. But he's doing it in a great way, in a way that attracts other bass players. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. Again, not taking away anything from everybody else in the band. I mean, they're knocking it out of the park. They really are. And they're doing exactly what I was expecting. So anyway, can we finish this out? Yeah, I think we can finish this out. I think we can finish it out. Let's let it roll, finish out, and then we'll get to the review. Job. Maybe that's the editing company. A lot of post-production there. I mean, I guess everybody's got to get the credits in. I understand. It's okay. There's two sides to this, and I want to make sure I get all my ducks in a row before I open my mouth here. So let me get my thoughts together. Let me make sure I very clearly define both sides of the coin here. And I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Liliac performing their rendition of the classic tune, Piece of My Heart. This was a request from Paul McGilligot. Okay, I thought about it. I made sure I thought about everything when it came to the two sides. So I think we're ready to go here. I hope we're ready to go. I guess we're just gonna kind of throw caution to the wind and hope for the best here. All right, let's start off with the score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give that an 8.5. Yep, 8.5. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Flat out, they did a great job. They did. They absolutely did a great job. There's a number of reasons why I'm saying that. Let's start off with the obvious, okay? The cover itself. Did they do a carbon copy cover? Well, if you're talking about from a chordal progression standpoint, yes, they did. It was in the exact same key that Big Brother and the Holding Company did. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it feels to me like the tempo was the exact same. But here's the thing. It was carbon copy cover in those regards, but only in those regards. Everything else, the tones from the instruments, the guitar tone, the keyboard patch, the bass tone, definitely heavier, more modern sounding, more modern feeling. And I got no problem with that. It definitely added to the authenticity of them having their own spin on it. And from a rudimentary standpoint, looking at what the drummer was playing, looking at what the keyboardist was playing, it sounded pretty much spot on. I mean, I didn't really hear a whole lot of variation, so good on them. Obviously, the guitar player, I believe his name is Sam. I hope it is. I'm trying to learn their names, folks. Believe it or not, I really am. His guitar playing, for the most part, followed the format. Did he take some liberties? Absolutely he did, in particular with the guitar solo. We heard a lot of liberties taken. But here's the thing, everything he did sounded good. Everything he did sounded tasteful. It did fit the context of their rendition of the song. Now, if you were to take his guitar solo and overlay it on top of, you know, the Big Brother and the Holding Company's version, would it fit? I don't know. I don't know if it would fit from a tone standpoint, from a directional standpoint, because of the more laid back earlier tones that they use with Big Brother and the Holding Company. But it still sounded good within the context of what Liliac was doing. So it's not like he went into this major shred fest that did not fit the mold. You know what I mean? So I got no issue with anything he did. The keyboard player doing a really nice job filling out the sound, filling out the chordal sound, especially when Sam was, you know, doing little solo riffs and little solo licks. Definitely did a great job holding it down, not stealing the spotlight at all. Drumming sounded solid, no issues with the drummer whatsoever. I believe the lead singer's name is Melody. I was actually really impressed by two things. Number one, Melody. Not because of what she did, it's because of what she didn't do. Every single time I've heard a band or an act, and I've played with a couple that have covered this tune, a couple of bands that have covered this song, and one of my biggest complaints about them, I'm not going to mention names or anything like that because I like working and I don't want to lose out on any potential jobs. So I'm not going to name names, but I am going to say this. There have been a couple of times where I've played in bands that have covered this song, and it's a little cringy to me. And the main reason it's cringy is because the lead singer tries so hard to sound like Janis Joplin, to the point where it sounds cringy, I guess is the best way to put it, because their voices are not meant to sound like Janis Joplin. They're just not. They're not designed that way. You know, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't work. When you're doing, you know, when we do a cover of Barracuda, And then the very next song we do is Piece of My Heart, and she's trying desperately to sound like Janis Joplin. I'm like, it's not working. Just be you. just stop. And it's so, you look, the worst part is you'll look in the audience, you'll see the audience's faces, and they're sitting there with these, if you could see emotes in real life, every single person would have a question mark over their head, like, what is going on? It's that cringe. It really is. And the reason I'm saying that is because I gotta give mad props to Melody for not falling into that trap. Melody sang like Melody, and she did not try to be Janis Joplin. Now, by default, her voice has got a little rasp to it. It does. So she naturally got a little bit of the tone that Janis Joplin gets, but she wasn't trying to be Janis. She was being herself. And that definitely put its own spin on the song. And she did a really nice job of it. So I gotta give her mad props for that. The other mad props I'm gonna give, the biggest mad props I'm gonna give is to that bass player. Holy smokes, he was putting in work. From what I remember of the song, it sounded exact, like no deviation at all from the original. A lot of 1-5-8 work, a lot of descending line work. But here's the thing, he was doing it, and he's, really, I mean, I'm not saying this in a bad way. I am all in favor of showing off. Trust me, especially bass players. Please steal the spotlight. Make those lead singers earn it. I'm all in favor of what he did, but here's the thing. He did it in such a classy way where he wasn't stealing the spotlight. He wasn't. He was being more reserved with his volume. Could you imagine if he was playing louder? Could you imagine what would happen? He would steal the spotlight. I'm sorry, he would. I know people are going to disagree with me. They are more than welcome to disagree with me. But in my opinion, if he had been louder, he would have absolutely stolen the spotlight from everyone. But he didn't do that. He stayed reserved. He kept his volume down low, probably around the mezzo piano level, so you could hear it, but it wasn't in your face. But I really dug what he was doing, man. I really did. Some great playing, some great accents, some great lines, very fluid. I mean, very, very fluid. I love, believe it or not, I know this is simple. I loved his 1-5-8 work. Just, the arpeggios he was pulling off. Just very clean, very relaxed feeling. And I really dug what he was doing, man. I'm sorry. Star of the show here was the bass player, in my opinion. I know everybody's gonna have their variances of opinions, and there's gonna be people who are big fans of Melly, and they're gonna think that she stole the show. They're gonna be big fans of Sam, I believe his name is, the guitar player, and they're gonna think he stole the show. There's gonna be big fans of the drummer, and they're gonna think that she stole the show. Listen, everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I'm not trying to discredit anybody else's. All I'm saying is, my opinion, bassist was the star. And he was one of the big reasons why we got up to the 8.5. So, 8.5, I feel good with that score. As far as the live show goes, it didn't help the score, but at the same time, it didn't hurt the score either. There were some things that they did, there were some things they didn't do. But, I mean, like, I didn't see any crowd interaction, for example, other than at the very beginning before the song even started. When Melody spoke to the crowd, how about we bring some Janis up in here? Janis. Big brother in the holding company. If you really want to get technical, it's actually Erma Franklin. But at the same time, everybody recognizes the song as Janis Joplin's song. So I guess you got to play to your audience, I guess. We didn't really see any crowd interaction, but we saw a little stage interaction. They did have stage presence. Stage energies, not a whole lot of it. And production, production's at the bottom of the level, but showmanship, we had some showmanship. So it was kind of a wash. It didn't help, but it didn't hurt either. So I know people were wondering what I thought about the live show. Well, there you go. Anyway, 8.5, I feel good with that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So 8.5, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.